All right, here we go. Was a piece I was doing because I wanted to bring music and artwork together. And you see a lonely art brush, a lonely musical sign, symbol. Suddenly they come together and they find each other and notice what they can do for with each other, and just a little indication on what type of production we do, bringing music and art together. Eat This Love, it took exactly maybe 4 to 6 months to create, from pencil work to colors and then to the 2D animation. And the credits here. I got the whole family involved, wife and the kids. Everyone did a great job. Just like in my artwork, I like to use symbolisms and create some great ideas just by visuals. The beginning. Now my voice, it sounds very upbeaty, like really joyfully, and I have fun with my character of being the narrator. No, I don't normally sound like that, but I think it was pretty cool to just act out in a very chippery type of mood.
How can I say, very observant.
All right, the beginning scene.
Hello, my little sweet Skittles in a bag. There's enough bread for you, and you. Take your time, relax.
Grandma Grace,
I know.
done by Shanice Morgan.
It's a bit late, but the extra time it took makes the bread taste that great. How great? How great is
The animation is very simple. That's one thing that I love about it. You don't have it lip syncing for say where the mouth's smooth, but just the real simple character being there. You have to use your imagination as you're watching.
Not only does Grandma Grace feed a flock of birds from day to day, but she fluffs her hair with puffs of care so the little ones can play. However, not everyone understands Grandma Grace's connection to our feathery friends. Mrs. and Mr. Roast could be the worst.
This would be a good time to mention about the dialogue that comes in and out after scene, before scene. The leaves that turns color. The beginning one was a little light, starting to get darker. Mr. Roast. Mr. Roast was done by my oldest son, Elijah.
Ew.
Elijah
Let me
Pearson.
get it out.
Please, baby, don't go there.
Please,
What if it
baby,
goes and
don't go
messes
there.
up that cotton candy fro? That's probably what she used for conditioner to give it that extra glow.
And my oldest daughter, Desiree Pearson, she was Mrs. Roast. Yeah, so they're really roasting her. It's not really to make people mad or to get people offended, but it is just showing how reality is nowadays on how people roast each other, and little fun scene.
Now PG will act like his shoe size instead of his age. And Quilita, well, she will act like she invented the word rage. PG thought he shouldn't have to
PG was done by my son Corinthian Morgan. It's my third oldest son.
I mean the works.
And Quilita, done by Paris Morgan.
Must I tell this dude?
Help.
Kids first, women second, men last, then you.
The type of gags that I like to do, I was inspired by a lot of Looney Tunes and Animaniacs. Who else? Even some Disney, but more mainly I lean more towards Looney Tunes. I just love how they brought scenes together and made some really good, great gags.
But he would never hit a girl in his life. All of a sudden, they felt an icy chill that was in the air. Quickly, they remembered what happened 2 winters ago that started with a dare. Porsche and 350, who was competitive with their bets.
Porsche and 350. Again, my oldest daughter Desiree and my oldest son Elijah play 2 parts. Elijah being 350 and Desiree being Porsche.
I bet you won't stick your tongue on that pole.
Now this kind of brings me back to the Christmas Story, which is a wonderful May movie. But of course, everybody know how it is, the physics of you sticking your tongue to a cold pole. What will happen? But as children, Porsche and 350 kind of just slid this one on themselves, and as kids do, just make mistakes.
And this pole won't let us go, won't it? Mommy?
Warm clouds, sunny days, and sandcastles. That's all PG had to say. He was down, Julita was down, but Ether was concerned about Grandma Grace. She would normally come out with
the beat was done by Drezzo. He was one of my students back in Indianapolis, working at Coleman. And we did works with each other, and I was finally able to use his talents to enhance my kids' talents in the future, where you have Corinthian Morgan, a.k.a. PG, just tear the scene up on his rap. He did a great job. He's like he's 10 years old right now, only 10 years old, and he loves rapping. He seen me do raps when I was younger. So he grew up in the sense of loving music and love writing. Plus, he's also an upcoming artist as well as Paris Morgan. Now, she's the backup artist in a rap song here, and she's doing a wonderful job. So they're teaming up, made for a great team and made for a great song. I love the energy that it brings. Kind of reminds you of that summertime, so your mind is all off of winter. I think simplicity with this cartoon was pretty much one of priorities as far as it being intended for kids for such a young age. Here's Ether, the main character. Done by Xavier Morgan, my youngest son.
I can see the house from here. And look, Grandma Grace is taking a nap. Wait a minute, on the kitchen floor? I have to go back.
Wait a minute. His voice just sounds so awesome. And it fits the main character.
Look at the little red one.
And here you have Bishop Morgan.
Let me see if I can help him.
Which he is being played as the Blizzard. Okay, now during the narration again, as you can see the change up, the leaves, colors change, the clouds start to move more rapidly.
But Grandma Grace, being in desperate trouble, was the only thing on his mind.
Sorry to disappoint you, but you have to wait your turn. You can't match or catch me because I got major speed to burn.
Without saying goodbye, he turns his back because he knows his friends will block him. Blizzard sees a challenge.
Now, during this time, during this scene, the music comes together well, right along with the movements of the characters. Not only that, but the actual dialogue is pushing the story even more. with the battle between the Blizzard and Ether.
You need a hug. I'm just a bit concerned.
He's just playing around with him.
Because it got major speeds.
You know, he's showing his strength, and the Blizzard on the same note is about to start showing his strength. So yeah, the battle is rough. Again, it just adds on to the story and the message behind Ether's love here.
That effectively slowed him down.
After all that puffing. What? You still haven't learned?
But the speed and momentum he gathered together was just enough to make a large, crashing sound.
My name is
Yeah, I just love the even the colors.
I got
From a I try to make the colors pop out in this particular story here, and with these characters and the background.
Grandma Grace came to her senses from being passed out on the kitchen floor. She looks around, confused, wondering, has she ever blacked out like that before? A single snowflake from the broken window passes by her face. It gently places itself on the stovetop. Now she knows what was the case. She goes over to turn it completely off and thought to herself, a rock must have came through the glass.
And so again, going back and forth from reading and listening into seeing the actual visual content, your mind is steady being pushed to use your imagination. So here we have Ether and Grandma Grace saying a prayer, understanding, not knowing what he's been through to get to that point, but she sees him, and her heart goes out to Ether, because she is that lovable bird watcher who people tend to make fun of. So again, she even uses her imagination on just life in general, even for the animal world. The outro speaker done by Pastor Claude Apka, a great pastor at the Calvary Gospel Church. He's under AIM for African International Ministries. And so we were just at a service one night, and I took a liking to his preach and his introduction to what he'd done. So I utilized that and brung it together at the very end with, what the story is and how heartfelt his introduction speech was. Again, we try to bring that same type of element with Ether's love, and hopefully it makes people think as far as how important life is. And again, thanks Madison Public Library. Thank you, Audrey, for helping me out with the commentary here. And thank you, Nate, for everything that he's done as far as allowing me to volunteer here at the Madison Public Library. And thank you. I appreciate everyone supporting us and helping us out in any way that they can. Have a great one.